Hey, good everybody, Chris Farhi here, hope you're going awesome. It's like we're down in Auckland Central today, having a walk around, talking real estate. Now if you've been following real estate development in particular in Auckland Central, you would have heard a lot about this waterfront drift, or sometimes the drift to the west. So I figured what we do, have a bit of a walk around and actually see what's happening on the ground at the moment. Absolutely beautiful day as well. This is probably one of the first days in a while on the weekend where it's actually been really nice. Right team, so we just arrived on the other side of the city, and so first up we've got Seascape Apartments just on Custom Street East. And so this project's pretty interesting. It's a massive apartment building. It's actually going to be about the same height as Pacifica when completed, or maybe just a slight bit taller. One of the cool things that you can see at the moment is you're actually starting to get the first signs of the cladding system getting installed just on those lower levels. And it's obviously getting a little bit closer to the top, and you're starting to see some of that upper shape of the building coming through as well, with a slight taper there, which is pretty cool as well. So not going to lie, the other reason for heading over to this part of the city was to get myself a coffee. So if you remember back last year, I was in New York for a little while, and so I was actually coaching a group of students from the University of Auckland Business School's Department of Property to compete in a competition over there. And so off the back of that, they got me a little Saver group gift card for places like Amano, and I've got quietly addicted to the coffee there. So it's pretty much me every Saturday and Sunday morning heading down there for a coffee. Yeah, is that for Chris? Yeah, thank you. Sweet, that's Cafe. Sweet, thanks. Alright team, got the coffee. So you'll find this pretty funny, so I constantly complain about the price of coffee these days. Like, I think this was like $6.80, but I also drink decaf, so it's like conflicted between complaining about prices but also being a bit dumb probably. So I have a quick update, is if you've been wondering why I haven't been posting as much recently, basically just rebalancing things with my role at Bailey's, which is going awesome, and then also some teaching at the University of Auckland. But I've also been doing a little bit of planning around the vlog. You'll notice this one's got slightly different imagery, just due to a new camera setup, which I'll be rolling out on some content coming up, so definitely stay tuned. The other thing though is if you do want some video content on the regular, just pop on to YouTube, Bailey's Real Estate, and between myself and a couple of colleagues like Anka and Eos, we're posting at least weekly on there, mainly news content. Absolutely beautiful day. Alright team, so we're just coming up on the second project for today. So this is the Barrington Buildings, which have just been, I guess, refurbished or redeveloped by Cooper & Company as part of the Britomart precinct. Alright, so this is the back side of the buildings here, looking stunning. One of the things I particularly like about this is just the colour of the windows contrasting against that really nice white treatment on the facade. The other cool aspect over here is actually the foyer. And so this is the rear foyer. Obviously they've got Daily Bread located in here. A little bit of fit out work for some of the other tenants at the moment. Check out this, real cool. It's nice work to the architects there. Yeah, stunning. So we'll track back to the other side of the buildings in a moment, but the other thing you get over here is the edge of the City Rail Link works down in Britomart precinct. So this is the temporary station structure over here, and this is pretty exciting. Like, it's getting closer, but I think the latest dates are like 2026-ish before it goes live. But this is quite a bit of activity up around Midtown, and then of course up into Mount Eden and Karangahape Road as well. So this is the front of the buildings onto Custom Street East. Yeah, it looks super smart. A couple of firms in there, I believe is Arup and Greenwood Roach property lawyers. So good choice of premises in there. Super cool as well because they've got nice character treatment on the inside. So you definitely get that really beautiful character vibe, but also effectively a brand new building as well. Lower Queen Street public space, looking super smart. One of the things that you'll notice at the moment is the vibe in central Auckland's definitely improved quite a bit. So I think like a lot of cities, Auckland's been struggling post-pandemic to just get its life back into downtown. But it definitely feels, maybe in the past month or two that things have really improved. Now my assumption is that that's probably led by the rebound in tourism and also a big surge of migration that's happened over the last 6 months. But yeah, there's definitely a lot more life in the city, although it'll probably take a little while to get back its full mojo, particularly with that sort of crime and homelessness issue as well. Now when you talk waterfront drift, a really good example at the moment is the development of 1 Queen Street. So there's a redevelopment of the old building, brand new cladding, effectively brand new building. You've got Deloitte, Bell Gully, and I believe it's Continental Hotels going into this property, and it's starting to look really, really nice. I assume the crane will probably come down pretty soon. And one of the projects we get quite a few questions on the channel is downtown car park redevelopment there. So there was an announcement a couple of months ago that Precinct Properties, in partnership with Ngāti Whātua or Oraki, are the preferred party for that project. But I'd imagine it'll take a little bit of time before anything actually happens there, just given the scale of the project, but also the complexity in terms of dealing with things like car parking and the road network around there. Now quite often when you hear the waterfront drift or the drift to the west mentioned by commentators, it almost sounds like it's some natural migration like you'd see with birds or wildebeest or something like that. But in my mind what it is companies, so occupiers and developers, chasing sites for new developments. And because the city centre is already pretty heavily developed with relatively few redevelopment opportunities, you basically have to head down to where the land is, and for the most part that's down towards Wynyard Quarter and I guess Victoria Quarter just nearby, where you have more low-rise buildings or indeed brand new development sites. Now associated with that's obviously the economics for redevelopment and new developments works best where you've got some big drivers to get higher rents or higher values, and so waterfront locations, strong amenity, and I think as well like clusters of new buildings work well for that. Next up we're down of course in Wynyard Quarter, next to Wynyard Quayside. So this is a new big office development by Precinct Properties, and this will be the home of Becca, so the professional services firm. So they've taken a big space down here, moving down from Pitt Street up in the sort of south side of the city. And so Wynyard Quayside actually rounds off Precinct Properties developments down here for the moment, although you do have a wide range of other parties active, including Manson's with their Duldy Street development, now well progressed, Willis Bond with residential, Winton Group, Orams Marine, Infratil, and a series of others, and of course not to forget Eke Panuku with the residual land, which will no doubt come to market at some point as well. And so that said, it's fair to say that Wynyard Quarter will continue to anchor that drift to the waterfront and drift to the west within the city for at least the foreseeable future anyway. So look, with that said, we'll wrap up this vlog and walk around here. Hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned for future content, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.